Hello and welcome to today's graphic design tip of the day. For today's tip, we're going into Adobe Photoshop with a logo that we've created in either Illustrator or Gravit Designer to be able to add a texture in place of the actual drawing that was used to create it. So you can see everything in my design here in Illustrator was created just with black outlines or fills. So there's no white fills at all on this. If I was to move it on top of the gray background, you can see that it's completely transparent. So I can do two things, either save it as a PNG file, an Illustrator file, or you have the nice ability here to be able to just drag and drop it over. So if I grab it, I can bring it right over to Adobe Photoshop or copy and paste it in. And just temporarily, once I have it in Photoshop, I'm going to go ahead and hide it and work on the layer underneath it. Now the same exact process can be done in Photo P. So if you don't have access to Adobe Photoshop, a free program is Adobe or Photo P, which is going to have the same exact tools as what I'm going to go through actually in basically the same spots. So the first thing I want to do to make my texture is to grab my paint bucket tool, and I'm just going to fill the background with a solid color. And then on a layer above that, I can grab my brush tool, and I've already downloaded some brushes here from Brush Easy. It's very easy to do that. If you go to brusheezy.com, you can download brushes from there for free. And if you double click on the folder that you download them in and double click on the file, you can install them very easily in Photoshop. If you're working in Photo P, you do have to go to the brush icon and actually install it here at the top. But either way, you can download and install as many brushes as you want, anywhere from fog and smoke to lightning, or like I'm going to use in this tutorial, a nice messy grunge. So I'm going to go ahead and grab one of these brushes and choose the color that I want. Notice again, I am on a new layer above that background, and I can start stamping that in. I have a low opacity on the brush that I'm using to start with, because if I end up not liking what I did, I can always go back and add a layer mask and use my brush set to black instead of white and remove parts of that. Or I can flip-flop that back and add it back. So you can really customize the texture that you're getting from this. Once you are ready, I would merge both of those layers together. So grab the top one, hold down the Shift key on your keyboard and select the bottom one. Control E or Command E if you're on a Mac is the shortcut to merge layers. You can also merge your layers by right-clicking on them or going to Layer, Merge Layers. And let's bring back that image that we created. Now I want to select the actual image here. So using my object selection tool, I'm going to go ahead, oops, I have to be on the right layer. Click on the Smart Object layer, and I'm actually going to take a step because I dragged it into my program. You can see the little icon right here telling me that I need to rasterize the Smart Object before I can edit it. So I'm going to go up to Rasterize layer first, just so we don't have any problems selecting it. And now using my object selection tool, grab over the top of that. And it should select everything that is actually filled, everything that isn't, that is just the basic transparency from my original is not selected. So now that that is there, it's super simple. If I go back down to my layer 2, so my background layer, and I go to select inverse, which means select opposite, and hit the delete key, it's going to remove everything other than my logo that I have here. So if you hide that layer above, I am just left with the texture that I created. I'll make this a little bigger so you can see it. So you can see that it's now made of that texture rather than the solid fill. It's a nice good quality image there, and then I can actually add underneath just so it's a little bit more visible for this tutorial. Just a solid white background. Probably wouldn't want to do this for your actual logo, but just so you can see it. Put that behind, and there we have it. A really nice texture created especially for this logo. I hope you enjoyed today's graphic design tip of the day.